Here's tonight's 9 at 9. The U.S. Justice Department considering whether to bring federal hate crime charges in the shooting death of Georgia man Ahmaud Arbery. The killing of the 25-year-old black man has caused nationwide outrage in recent days after a video surfaced that shows the deadly confrontation. According to police, the two suspects believed Arbery was responsible for burglaries in the area. They both have been charged with murder and aggravated assault.
Now I have a sense of hope. At one point in the beginning, I didn't have any hope that anything would ever be done about it because I was getting all conflicting information.
Actor and comedian Jerry Stiller has died at the age of 92. His son, actor Ben Stiller, announced the news on Twitter, saying his father died of natural causes. Jerry Stiller was well known for his roles in the hit TV shows Seinfeld and The King of Queens. U.S. Customs and Border Protection says it has confiscated 35 counterfeit Super Bowl rings. They were shipped from China and passed through the mailing facility at O'Hare International Airport in Chicago. Had the rings been real, Customs estimates their value at $350,000. A woman caught on camera driving over grave markers at Houston National Cemetery yesterday. The cemetery was lined with cars as people were waiting for a flyover. That's when one impatient driver jumped the curb and drove across graves to get out of the cemetery.
I was shocked, to say the least. Never would I ever have expected that to have happened. You know, this is Houston and there's crazy drivers, but you definitely wouldn't see people driving through a cemetery.
That driver has not been identified yet. Here at home,
what makes a bar? Well, the city confirmed that two neighboring locations at the Rim, the Lion and Rose British Restaurant and Pub and the Rustic, were recently told to close down their dining in because they're considered bars, not restaurants.
The owner of the Rustic at the Rim says they recently tried to open up their dining area, but the city said they weren't allowed. That's because of this red no handgun sign, which is given to locations that take in more than 51% of gross receipts from alcohol sales. And unlike restaurants, which are allowed to open at quarter capacity right now, bars are still closed.
The owner of the Rustic tells us the label of bar doesn't quite fit now.
We're closer to 40% of our total sales comes from alcohol. So again, we're significantly below that threshold of the 50-50 mark.
A doctor making news after posting this picture on Twitter showing a crowded United Airlines flight from New York to San Francisco. The picture shows what appears to be most of the seats on the flight filled. United recently said it would implement social distancing policies on flights, endeavoring to keep each middle seat empty. This unmanned spacecraft just delivered several tons of supplies and scientific experiments to the International Space Station. Now that its mission is complete, it's scheduled to leave. NASA says flight controllers on the ground will send commands to robotically detach it from the space station. Then within 24 hours of its release, it'll start its next mission, a study of fire microgravity. After that, it'll deorbit and burn up in the atmosphere by the end of the month.
Archbishop Gustavo Garcia Sierra flying over the city this afternoon, celebrating the reopening of parishes next week.
Today, the Archbishop teamed up with the Tex Hill wing of the Commemorative Air Force to announce daily masses in the Archdiocese of San Antonio can resume May 19th, and weekend masses can resume on the 23rd and 24th. Once the parishes reopen, Garcia Sierra says everyone will have to wear masks and social distancing must be maintained. That means no embracing of any kind, including hugs or handshaking. And take a look at this. In California, dash cam from a freight truck hauling thousands of gallons of wine was recording when the trucker was flagged down by another driver. That driver got out of the car wearing nothing but underwear. The trucker then tried to drive off, and that's when police say the man from the car hopped onto the tanker, opened a valve underneath, and began chugging the wine. He was eventually arrested. To read more about these stories, head to ksat.com.